All right, there's YouTube, etc. All right. Now I got to do Instagram. Substack should start on its own. 1 second here for Instagram. Come on, Instagram. You can do it. There we go. All right, Substack. Grab the live stream. Bam, bam. Start live video. That's always weird. All right, I'm not sure why it says that, but I'm starting it on my own. All right. Go live, chat. Yep, still connecting. All right. Substack is still connecting. One moment. One moment. Oh, Substack. Oh, Substack's being evil. Interesting. All right. That's why. Well, let's see. Ooh, no one's there. That's never a good sign. That's never a good sign. Substack. Oh, there we go. Okay, guys. Hey, I think it's being a little weird, but I think we're okay now. I'm actually gonna. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, something. So anyway, it's streaming now. Substack was being weird again today because it's got to be weird. All right, that's good. Let me start TikTok, and then we are ready. Freddy. Oop, where'd TikTok go? There's my TikTok. Oh, anyway. Hello, Amanda. Oh, hey, Wilson. All right, let me. As I said, let me get TikTok ready to go. All right, I think we're pretty good. TikTok always resets every time. I wish it wouldn't reset. It would make life so much easier. Hey, Justin. We are here, we are here, we are here. All right. Oh, that's kind of cool. Hey, 1 second here. Oh, that's kind of fun. You know? Let's try that just for fun. All right, there we go. All right, starting TikTok. We are good. Woo-woo. There we go. All right, TikTok is going live. There we are. Flipping mirror imaging. Excellent. All right. Hello, everybody. Busy day. Busy. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Exactly. I am John Kiriakou. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's such a freaking weirdo, you know, like even thinking that that's a normal, like it's his call sign or whatever the hell he thinks it is. He's such a freaking weirdo. Anyway, good morning, Tanya. Oh, are you over? Is that Australia or New Zealand? I never know the sign. I'm going to guess Australia. I mean, the flags. Since you're saying good morning and I'm seeing a little British flag in there, I'm going to guess Australia, but could be New Zealand because I don't know the flags. Anyway, welcome everybody. How are we doing today? I had a busy day. I decided to make preserves today. A friend of mine has a fig tree and I was Australia. Okay, thanks. And I was like, let's make preserves. So it went okay. It's funny. It's not hard, but it's not easy. Like it's still, it's almost like making bread, I found, where there's a lot of gray area that you have to know what you're doing or you don't know how far to go, like how far to cook it. It's not easy. And also figs, let's face it. I mean, if you know figs, when you make the jam, figs don't have a very strong flavor. I added a little bit of orange zest, excuse me. And I think the orange was it was a half a teaspoon of orange zest. And I think it was already too much, which is crazy. Anyway, and you don't need pectin for figs. So my favorite food is chocolate. So there you go. Anyway, it was fun. It was fun. I did it. So they're cooling. They look pretty good. Hopefully isn't going to kill anybody. We'll find out soon. So I'm bringing one to my nephew in Arizona, one for the friend who gave me the figs, but it tasted pretty good. Again, I'm a little annoyed about the orange. We can talk about it later, just because I only added half a teaspoon, but they still tasted a bit orangey. And I was like, for half a teaspoon for 2.5 pounds of figs, that was surprising. But they're good. You know, I think for a first effort, they're very good. So anyway, so they're cooling on the counter. Already 3 of them have popped. One is not popped, but I hear it doesn't have to pop. Anyway, all right, welcome guys. This morning, tomorrow we will do our hangout. We do our typical weekly hangout for the super fans, the members, the paying subscribers, whatever you want to call yourselves, the folks who pay me monthly, who bought a monthly subscription, which is very nice of you. As I said, super fans on TikTok, called something else on maybe members on YouTube, I forget. But Discord, we've got them, Substack as well. Anyway, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time US. So 11 a.m. New York City time, Washington, D.C. time. So join me then. Otherwise, Monday, remember, Monday, and I don't know what time yet. I'm going to set it up on Monday. But Monday, we've got our interview with David Hearn's lawyer, Josh Kolb. And Josh is one of the lawyers for David Hearn is the former Olympian who was arrested by Trump, claiming he vandalized the reflecting pool of the Lincoln Memorial, which is total BS. But they're doing very well in court. The case just got dismissed. The government's in trouble. And Josh will be with us to talk about the case. We're probably going to do an earlier show because he said 6 o'clock was pushing it. Actually, I think he's giving some decent time to us because he said 6 o'clock is pushing it because I've got to leave at 6:40. And I was thinking, oh, well, if you're afraid of leaving at 6:40 and the show starts at 6, that might mean he's willing to give us an hour or something. So let's see. So I told him we can do 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So Monday, it's going to be earlier. I don't know what time. Monday, we're going to have to play it by ear. I will sort of, well, TikTok, I don't know if I can set it up in advance on TikTok, but all the other services, I will set it up by late Monday morning. I should be able to, set it up. So YouTube, etc. It'll be there. Anyway, it is what it is, but probably 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Sorry, I can't be more specific. Eastern time, US. Otherwise, let's get rolling. All right. Let's get rolling. Oh, man. But yeah, no, like cooking took its time today. So I was kind of like, it went okay, but it still ate into my day a bit, That's true. I can post. Actually, that's true. You're right. I can at least do a TikTok video. I can do a TikTok video or the story. You're right. I forget the stories on TikTok. Are the stories, if you click my profile, it brings something up? Is that what it is? I forget. Is it like a video I can put as a story on TikTok? I don't remember how that works. Or I could just do a video and say, hey guys, I'm on today. So the story I can put a video as a story. Okay. I can, that's easy. I can do that. Yeah. And then when I forget, maybe Ashley can remind me or something. Going like, you haven't told people what time we're doing this yet. Oh, thank you, Blue. So hopefully, that's a good idea though. Perfect. Yeah. Cause as I said, I won't know until he gets back to me. Cause he wrote me at the end of the day and said, 6 o'clock is pushing it. And I said, that's okay. We can do it. He thought we were taping. I said, we can't tape. It's too hard. TikTok especially, there's no way to tape. So now I am going to do the live streaming to TikTok, which means fewer people are going to get the notice, which is always fun. But I figured live streaming to TikTok was better because that way we live stream to TikTok and we can live stream to the other services Anyway, let's get rolling, guys. Slow day here on TikTok, I'm seeing. Maybe because it's a Friday. We've got fewer people today than usual. A little bit fewer. Or is TikTok being evil? I don't know. TikTok, you never know. Anyway, welcome everybody. I'm John Arvosis. This is my show. We meet Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern, and we go over the latest news. My background is politics and media and law and lots of other stuff. And I basically created the show so I had a chance to, basically my expertise is, I've also been a journalist too, is to go through pick the news that I think matters and go through it and try to help you understand it as sort of a Washington insider who isn't a complete idiot. Because we've got some of those in this town too. So that's what it is. So with no further ado, I will have another sip from my Ukraine mug. When did I start doing the show? I started doing the show a couple days after Russia invaded Ukraine. So it was probably beginning of March 2022, which is kind of wild. 4 years now. Because it was maybe the week after. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to go live and maybe we can talk a little bit about the war. And we went for an hour or two and everybody was like, okay, tomorrow, same time. And I went, tomorrow? What do you mean tomorrow? I'm not doing this again. And they're like, oh, come on, this was fun. I said, all right, we'll do tomorrow. And then all of a sudden I started doing every day. And for the first 6 months, we were doing every day, like 7 days a week, which was way too much. And I lost my voice and all sorts of stuff. So after that, we've been doing 5 days a week. So that's good. I don't remember what was the adult slime. What was the print? I don't remember even now what it was. We had many different ones. Anyway, we're doing this again. Yeah. I'm not going to even. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Okay, I'm not even going to repeat that. That seems to be somebody bought a gift on TikTok, but the gift almost are you able to write in what it says? Because the gift is, the gift, it puts a French phrase on the screen, but it's slang French that's actually over my head. Thank you, Jean. So I'm not comfortable repeating it because it's push the seal. It didn't say fuck. No, it didn't say that. It said something else. No, it said le kick something else. It wasn't I'm fluent in French. I know how to say the seal. Yeah, it wasn't that. The original is the push the seal. This was, or the seal pushed me. This was something else about kick. And I don't know what that means in French. Yeah, it was like le kick, quelque chose, je sais pas. I don't know what kick is. And the second word, I don't know what that was either. And if anybody remembers having seen it, any of our French folks could tell us here. So I didn't want to repeat it because I was like, I don't know that I know what this means. Yeah, it was some le kick, je sais pas quoi. Actually, I did have today, okay, bon. Alors, les francophones de Montréal ne comprennent pas, donc c'est pas ma faute. That's good. Even the French speakers from Montreal didn't understand what it was, so it's not my fault. That's good. I had it. Oh, anyway, you've got me remembering my worst French experiences of screwing things up. That's what I was gonna say. It's probably saying something inappropriate in English, but it didn't make sense. It said le kick, but it said K-I-K, like le and then kick, K-I-K. Was it K-I-K? It didn't make sense. Mes plats français préférés, c'est difficile à dire ça. Foie gras, mais foie gras avec, comment vous dites, with, the wine. A French friend had gone to take me to dinner once, or gone to dinner. And he's like, have you ever had foie gras? I said, yes. He goes, but if you had it with the wine and the preserves, and I said, no. And he goes, okay. He ordered, there's a specific wine you get with foie gras, or actually, there's probably different wines, but there's a specific wine that was sort of it's a sauterne. It's like a white wine that's a little sweet. And what they do is they take toast, little piece of toast, and you put the foie gras on top, okay? But then you put, or whichever order, you also put, I guess, chutney. I'm not a big chutney fan, but you put basically preserves of some kind, right? So it's almost like preserves, foie gras, the hard bread. You then take a bite in your mouth, and he goes, take the bite in your mouth, don't swallow. Now sip the wine and then chew and mix everything in your mouth. It sounds weird. I was like, oh, it's so good. Oh, you use that would be a good idea. Like an onion based would be good. Like a sweet onion, something. Oh, it's the way. It's the way one eats foie gras. My Parisian friend made very clear to me. Vin liquoreux. It was basically a sweet wine. Yeah, it wasn't a liquor wine, but it was a sweet wine. Oh yeah. Oh, to die for. It was wonderful. Because I've had foie gras, and I'm like, foie gras was okay, but it's okay. But I've never had it with the wine and the sweet from the sauce, almost like a preserve, the hard bread. Oh, ooh la la. I don't remember. No, I'm forgetting the name. I knew the name. You could do a Riesling. Anyway, basically, you want a sweet white, a very cold, sweet white wine. Not American sweet, but French sweet, Oh my God, so good. Even though, foie gras, we're not supposed to like foie gras, but done this way, gotta tell you. Any case, all right. Anyway, it was excellent, yeah. Well, I had written down what it was. I don't remember now. We could ask boyfriend, but I'm sure there's many different types, Anyway, all right, let's get rolling, guys. Enough of our food fetish here. Food Fetish Friday. Oh, actually, I made my bread yesterday too. Today's going to be I've got news to talk about, but today's a much more casual day, so we're hanging out. Today, I was going to tell you at the beginning, today's more of a hangout. So anybody on TikTok, just so you know, we're hanging out and chatting today. I do have news. I have many stories to go through, but nonetheless, we're hanging out too. But I did make a bread. I made a very good bread. yesterday. Easy. Anyway, it's kind of a little bit of a rye, a little bit of wheat, a little bit of rye, a little bit of truffle oil, which gives it a really nice kind of aroma to it. It's very good. It turned out very well. So I'm very happy. So, all right, let's get rolling. So Iran. So Trump, you got to love this. So remember, Oman and Iran were negotiating over dividing up the Strait of Hormuz, and they were going to charge a toll. And remember, they were going to call the toll a fee. And the fee was to help with environmental things and staffing and security. Basically, it's bullshit. They're charging us a toll. And the fact that Oman is doing it, somebody should come down on Oman like a ton of bricks. Well, Trump has been saying all week, well, the strait is kind of already open. Yesterday, he goes, the strait is kind of already open anyway. He goes, I mean, yeah, Iran can bomb all the ships and they can put down mines and blow things up. So I guess nobody wants to go through it, but we control it and it's open. Like, we do not control it and it's not open if Iran can bomb every ship and set mines in that case. That's not at all. Oh, what did Ash say that we're congratulating? Oh, 11th wedding anniversary. Oh, good for you, Ash. I did not. You know what's funny? I didn't see it was Ash. I saw somebody write my wedding anniversary, and I thought, oh, that's nice. Who's that? I didn't see it was Ashley. You are allowed to go early, Ash. Yes, you are. What was Oman to do? Anything. Why in God's name is Oman doing some deal to split up the strait and take a toll? How about Oman says, okay, America, we're on your side and we're not going to negotiate? I mean, again, Trump screwed the whole thing up anyway, obviously, right? I mean, it's a disaster. But in any case, so today, Trump claimed all week, oh, by Friday, I'm sure we'll have a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Well, it's Friday. It's actually Saturday over there at this point, and there is no deal. That's what it said. Okay, Francophone, that's what it said. Yeah, I'm still not going to say it, but that's what it said. And I have no idea what that means, unless somebody else knows what that means in French. Because the souk is the Arab souk, I'm assuming, the market. And kik, I have no idea what kik means in French, unless it's some slang that I don't know. That's what it says. Yeah. What does that mean, though? Any Francophone? You guys still, Nicolas, or the rest of you, the Canadians, still with us? Does that mean anything, or is it just le souk market me tente? C'est pas vrai. That's what it means? That's what it means? No, I'm not even gonna. It looks like it's something. Oh, the souk is a dance. And mekik. Kik is what? Summer play, or what does kik mean? Hey, Scotty, we're talking to the other French Canadians to translate the gift somebody bought. Okay, so cette danse me plaît, or je sais pas quoi, whatever. Okay, so basically, so it wasn't swear. It was the souk is the Arab souk, the market, but in this case, it's a kind of dance. Keef is an expression from, I don't remember keef. No, keef is, not keek. I know keef, that's different. It said keek, though. Keek, I've never heard. Yeah. So it said le souk ne keek. No, actually, it said ne keek, by the way. It didn't say mkeek. Okay. It's, honestly, Canadians, I still think it's screwed up what it wrote. Because it didn't say mkeek. It said ne keek. Keef is different, yes. Yes, we're not going to start translating things like that from what I remember. Anyway, all right, let's keep going here. No tengo ninguna idea tampoco. Yeah. Anyway, all right, enough of the French slang. It does sound like it's going to be dirty, but it's not. No. Apparently, it's not. The French Canadians would. Well, hopefully, the French Canadians know if it's dirty. You never know. TikTok is using. Am I CIA? I wish I was CIA. I would have loved to have worked for the CIA. Are you kidding? Didn't join them because I'm gay, and back then I was afraid I'd be in trouble. But Mexique, Mexique. Ah bon? Okay. Oh, that's cute. Mexique, like it kicks me. That's cute. Yeah. But no, I'd love to be CIA. I was never, but I think it would have been an exciting job. I wouldn't have wanted to be a spy. I would have wanted to be an analyst. I don't think I'd want to be well, I don't think I'd want to be like on the ground pretending I'm somebody else. That would be weird. But being the analyst, I would have loved to be an analyst and like going through all the data and figuring out what's going on. I would have loved it. Yeah. I have no problem with the CIA. I mean, when the CIA does bad things, I have a problem. But overall, I wouldn't want to be Donald Trump's CIA. But overall, I would have loved that. What do you do? You know? Anyway, it is what it is. Many congressional staffers are either CIA or Mossad. I doubt that. I was a congressional staffer. That was never, let me put it this way. That was never discussed. That was never a perception. Having worked there for 5 years, that was never even vaguely something that anybody even thought of, which makes me think it's first of all, which means they don't say that because I worked there. Now, people may say that, but it's not something that's even discussed. Yeah, no. So I very much doubt, I mean, who knows, but I very much doubt it. Yeah, he's scary, Kitty. We don't like him. Yeah. Okay, look, the John Kiriakou guy, because people bring him up, he's not just former CIA, he's formerly paid by the Russian government as well. And I've got news for you. If you work for the CIA, and we talked about this before, or any classified job where you had to get a security clearance, and I had to get security clearances twice, including top secret, above top secret, you don't then leave and go work for the Russian government. That would be crazy. It would suggest really bad things about you if, as an American, period, you go work for the Russian government. That's bad. As an American who worked for the CIA and had a security clearance, and you went and worked for the Russian government, that's even worse. So I've heard of him. I will put zero stock in anything. I know people like him. That's great. But zero stock in anything that guy says, because no normal human being who I know would ever go work for the Russian government, especially after having a security clearance, especially after having worked at the CIA. That's fucked up, to use the expression. So, yeah. No, I mean, that makes me, again, personal opinion, that makes me think you're a piece of garbage if you do that. And it makes me think, it makes me wonder about who you are, what your motivations are, whether you're telling me the truth, whether you're telling me things because some people want you to. I mean, anybody who has worked for the Russian government, you're toast. And bottom line, we're going to say here too, this guy also, and again, I don't want to sort of spend time talking about him. This guy also claims, well, I had to go to jail and I got out. And at least from his bio on Wikipedia, it says, I think it's Wikipedia said, or somewhere else I read, he had a hard time getting a job. That's why he went to work for the Russian government. Yeah, no, that doesn't really work. Like, no. Would you go work for Saddam Hussein or North Korea because, you had a hard time getting a job? No. And especially, again, you did classified work for the CIA. You don't go and work for the Russian government because you had a hard time getting a job. We're going to stop talking. I'm wasting too much time discussing this guy. He gives me the creeps. Just totally gives me the creeps. Anyway, all right. Enough of that. Oh, so Iran. We were talking about Iran. So Trump has been saying all week, I think by Friday we'll have a deal between Oman and Tehran to reopen the strait, right? Bullshit, of course. And it's not a deal. The deal is to set up a tariff or something, right? A toll. Well, today, it's already Friday. In fact, it's Saturday already in Iran and Oman. So no deal came through. What a surprise. Trump lied. Trump tells Fox News today. This is the story on Fox. Trump says agreement with Iran to reopen Strait of Hormuz could be soon. And Fox News puts it out there like it's a story. Could be soon. I like that. Could be soon. Could not be soon. Could be not for a while. Fox News, boom, breaking news. Yes. So Donald Trump said everything was going to be sewn up by today with Iran. It's not. The reflecting pool. I have a fun reflecting pool story. So last night, so Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool, we're all aware of what a cluster F that is, right? Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Last night, I see, this was, let me see, this wasn't Matt Ryan. This was another photojournalist. Let me pull this up. I think I should have it here. I mean, I did a story on it if I can't find it, but let me do a quick. Oh, It's syncing right now. That's why my iPad hadn't synced yet. All right, it's syncing. I should have it in a second. Basically, the Park Service has started to put water back into the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. And they put up a sign to tell people, because apparently there's going to be a lot of dirt in the water, and they didn't want people to think that something was wrong, that, oh my God, they screwed up, right? And so I will say this, very smart of them to put a sign up that says, no, we're trying to clean some valves and pipes and whatever the hell they are. So we're putting water back in and it's going to be dirty. Don't worry about it being dirty. That was smart, right? Because you want to warn people in advance, right? Well, it goes on from there. Like I said, I'm waiting for this to sync. This had better sync because I've got to get this. You know, worst comes to worst, I'm gonna bring it up on my TikTok. Hold on, I can do that. Let me pull it on my TikTok. I should be able to read it off of this. So they put up the sign, but the sign is kind of bullshit. It's very funny. Like I said, give me 1 second here. Here we go.
Did Trump break the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool?
That's my yesterday.
Reflecting pool showing, but it's not their fault. Reflecting pool had been partially revealed to this. Not their fault.
Hold on.
It's really ugly, but it's not their fault. Listen to this.
Hold on. I'm trying to find the. Oh, there it is. Oh, Wait, come on. Oh, shoot. I keep hitting the wrong button on TikTok. Stop it. All right. Here we go. Okay. I've got it now. I got it. All right. Okay. So the sign they put up, actually, this is my TikTok video. They put up a sign on the fence they've got to keep us out. They put a sign there, and here's what the sign says. All right. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool has been partially refilled to allow National Park Service and contractors to flush the pool's piping system. You're like, okay, that's kind of nice, right? Oh, it goes, this is the Trump administration. It goes on. To allow contractors to flush the pool's piping system for the first time in more than a decade. After years of neglect by previous administrations, more than half of the 58 water supply ports were so clogged that they were deemed non-functioning. The flushing may temporarily discolor the water as a buildup in the pipes is cleaned out. So they're blaming Biden and Obama, a decade, Biden and Obama and everybody, right, for the pipes being clogged. And these half of the outlets, I don't know what they are. Maybe they allow water in or something. Half of them, 58, are clogged. And for the first time, after years of neglect by previous administrations, everybody ignored it except Donald Trump. Here's the problem. One, guess who one of those previous administrations was in the last 10 years? Donald J. Trump. He was president the first 4 years of the last 10 years. He was president the first 4 years of the last decade. Okay? He was president the last year and a half of the last decade. For 5.5 years of the last decade, Trump was president. Only today, they're discovering these things are clogged. And he goes, none of the previous administrations even bothered cleaning them. Well, you were president more than half the time of the past decade. So it's your fault, okay? That's the first thing and again, only Trump people would try to blame everybody else, right? Blame the other administrations, but only Trump people would be so dumb that they wouldn't realize that they're actually blaming themselves when they go, all the other administrations of the last 10 years did nothing. Except you were years 1 to 4 of the last 10 years, and you were years 8 and 9 or 9 and 10 of the last 10 years. Why would you say the last 10 years? You're an idiot. You'd say the last 5 years, maybe to make it Biden's fault or something, right? And even then, Trump was president. Well, it gets better. So it's horrific that these other administrations left these pipes clogged. But Donald Trump realized it yesterday and is fixing it. Yesterday? Yesterday, they realized there's a problem with the Lincoln Memorial and they're fixing it? Thank you, Sadie. Oh, that's fun. Thank you, Sadie. Yesterday. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we told a month ago that the pool was finished for July 4th? That everything was done? Remember before they found the rips and stuff? The pool was done. It's complete. It's over. We're filling it up with water. Everything's great. A month ago, Trump told us it was done. The contractor told us it was done. But today they're finding problems like clogs that were ignored for 10 years. If the clogs were ignored for 10 years, then it means Donald Trump and his contractors missed the clogs when they told us a month ago that the pool was done. So he didn't just ignore it years 1 to 4. Thank you, Cindy. He didn't just ignore it years, this Spartan head is funny, ignore it years 1 to 4. He either lied or they screwed up. Again, no compete bid, exactly. They screwed up again when they did the reflecting pool. They finished the job a month ago and had no idea half of these ports were clogged. Water, what are they calling them? Water ports, I think they were? Water supply ports, which makes it sound like it's the way water comes in. More than half of them were clogged, and these idiots didn't bother checking. And again, only the Trump people would brag a month after they claimed the job was done that they found a problem, which means they didn't find it last month when they finished the job. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I knew you would enjoy this because it's so classic Trump, right? Trying to blame everybody else and not realizing he's totally indicting himself by doing it. You know? You gotta, but I love that. The administrations of the last 10 years. Yeah, that would be you for 5.5 of the last 10 years. Thank you, brown-eyed. Electra vibes. Just, it's insane. The drains are clay? Is it true? WC? Clay? Yeah, 14 million wasn't enough to check the portals. Exactly. Exactly. Again, I don't know these things. I don't know whether you're supposed to check the portals, but don't blame the other administrations for not checking the portals when you were one of the other administrations and when just 2 months ago you didn't check the portals. Right? He didn't check them. Trump screwed up just 2 months ago. They didn't check it. My God. Is there a claim? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Red lip lady? her name is Red Lips. I'm not being sexist. It's literally red lips are her names. I'm guessing it's got to be like cleaning a drain or something. It looks like it's the water ports. Oh, thank you, son. Oh, that's cool. Fashion Fest. I've not seen that one. That looks like a nice one. Thank you. Yeah, I'm guessing it's the water. It's the way to access. It's a way for water to come inside, inside the pool is what I'm guessing. Because the reflecting pool is so big that you've got to have multiple inlets and also outlets or whatever. Hot lips mash, maybe. Other outlets to sort of leave, Anyway, oh my God, that gift was very nice. Yeah, you could tell it was. Like I said, you could always tell some of the gifts that are especially nice because they're kind of bigger and they linger longer. It's funny. You can sort of, even though you don't know exactly, you can kind of get a sense. That was a nice gift. All gifts are nice, but that was a nice one. Politico, Don Lemon's lawyers have moved to dismiss the charges against him in the Minnesota church protest case. So we're still waiting to see what happens with that one. That's the case where Don Lemon, journalist, we've all gotten news about this, got news about a protest and embedded with the protesters and basically drove with them and sat in the church. And when they started protesting, recorded it. That is legal. It is literally the definition of journalism. And the Trump people, of course, arrested him, claiming he was one of the protesters. He was filming them. He was with them. Yeah, journalists do that. I've embedded journalists with us before when we've done actions. We've had journalists come with us. The journalist doesn't help with the action, exactly, and Lemon did not. He did not jump up on stage holding a sign. Right? The journalist doesn't do that. The journalist knows about it in advance. You tell them we're going to be doing this action. We're going to be here. Even if it could be civil disobedience, which, by the way, is a crime. That's the whole point of civil disobedience. You break the law. You lie down in the street and have to be arrested, whatever. Right? And you tell the journalist we're going to do it. Just because you told the journalist we're going to lie down in the street tomorrow at noon to protest the war or whatever doesn't make the journalist guilty for you lying down in the street. It is literally journal. So his case, I'm surprised his case hasn't been thrown out already. It's actually outrageous that the judge hasn't thrown it out at this point. Anyway, so his lawyers asked the judge to throw it out. What else we got? Todd Blanche. Unfortunately, Todd Blanche now has the votes to become Attorney General. Todd Blanche was Trump's personal lawyer. He's awful. He's a MAGA activist. He's awful. He is Attorney General. He's acting Attorney General. He is in the job to basically punish Donald Trump's enemies, which is illegal in America, but of course he's doing it. They're literally turning the Justice Department into something out of the Soviet Union, out of communist China. That's who they are now. Justice Department and FBI. Unfortunately, I'm sure there's still some good people there, but they're literally working for the communist Chinese and the Soviets at this point. That's who they are. That's who Blanche is. Well, I got to fill you in on something. Susan Collins. Beginning of the show, we were talking about the fact that I worked in the U.S. Senate for years. I worked in the United States Senate for 5 years as a top aide, one of the top aides to a United States senator. Susan Collins did something cute today. Murkowski, too. Murkowski and Collins announced this, they're the moderate, they're not moderate Republicans, but they're not quite MAGA. They're the moderate Republicans in the Senate. And Collins from Maine is up for re-election this year, and she's a little worried, but she's doing okay. Today we find out first, Murkowski is going to vote no on Todd Blanche's nomination. Ooh, wow, big news. You need 3 senators, 3 Republicans to vote no. Murkowski votes no. Collins then comes out and says, I'm voting no. She waited until today. I'm voting no. He can't be Attorney General. Doesn't she seem like a responsible moderate saying no? Maybe you should vote for her, right? That's the idea. Then what do you think happens next? Bill Cassidy, the final Republican they were waiting who was going to vote no, came out and said he's voting yes. So Todd Blanche is going to be confirmed. Let me tell you what happened, because I worked there for 5 years. Whenever you vote against the president, your own president, there is always a discussion behind the scenes. And when you need to vote against the president, for political reasons, like Susan Collins, who's up for re-election, she needs to vote against this so she can show people back home, I'm really a moderate. You can support me, right? The White House lets you know how the vote is going. And as soon as it's clear they're going to win, they let you know it's okay for you to vote no, because they're going to win anyway. I guarantee you, they got the word that Cassidy was going to vote yes. And they told Susan Collins, we got Cassidy, we've got the votes we need. You and Murkowski can vote. Now, Murkowski might have voted no anyway. But Susan Collins, I will next to guarantee you, having worked in the United States Senate myself, that she got a phone call from the White House that said, Susan, you have permission to vote no on Todd Blanche. And we're going to go, oh, you're so bad, Susan. And then you can show the people back in Maine what a good liberal you are and what a good moderate you are. That's what happened. It's not a coincidence that she decided to vote no, like literally an hour before Cassidy came out and said, I'm voting yes. That's why she did it, because Cassidy made his decision, so she was given permission to make her decision. Otherwise, she would have decided days ago. It's sickening. I mean, it really pisses me off, because this is, again, I've worked there long enough to see this time and time and again. And I've told you guys, thank you, Linda, whenever there are votes that are close, we're one vote away from winning. Oh no, we lost, but we got 4 Republicans with us. Those 4 Republicans probably all got permission because they were told there's no problem. We're going to win this vote anyway. So whenever you see the vote close, and we only lost by 1, but those Republicans that joined us were so nice. They're not nice. A lot of them were given permission to join, to vote against us in order to trick you. Yeah. Anyway, very, very upsetting. Oh my God. People are fooled easily because who knows how it works? You guys don't know how it works, I mean, I know how it works because I worked there. On the outside, it looks like Susan Collins did a good thing, right? On the outside, you'd look and go, well, she voted against Todd Blanche. Good for her. You wouldn't realize she was probably she waited until the last minute for permission from the White House to vote no, only because they got enough yes votes to confirm him. Had they not gotten enough yes votes, they would have said, Susan, you're with us. And she would have gone, okay, I have concerns, but I'm voting for him. That's what would have happened. Yeah. All right. What else we got here? his ballroom. So Trump's ballroom had another block legally today, which is good. Basically, and we still have to wait for the Supreme Court now. Democrats do it too. Oh yeah, Democrats do it too. Democrats and Republicans both do it. Yeah. The ballroom. So the U.S. Court of Appeals for D.C., which is a very big court, I mean, very important court of the country, agreed with the lower court, the district court, that Donald Trump's ballroom is illegal. The district court was a Bush-appointed judge. This court was two Democratic-appointed judges. I don't remember. I think it might be Biden and Obama said it's illegal, the ballroom, and a Trump judge voted against and said, no, it's not illegal or whatever, decided against. So 2-1 against Trump. Now it goes to the Supreme Court probably in the next 2 weeks. What worries me is, is Trump's Supreme Court going to go along with Trump on this? Probably. What's happening is the court today said, yeah, the president can't do major changes to the White House without congressional approval. He can't. He can do minor cosmetic changes like putting Liberace, golden flagella on the walls of the Oval Office. He can do that, but he can't significantly change the White House by knocking it down and building new structures. It's illegal. Now, the court postponed its decision, not postponed, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know the word. Basically said, for 2 weeks, we're going to postpone the decision, not postpone it. It's, what's the word? I'm forgetting my legal words here, guys. Basically, the court ruled and said, but I'm not implementing it for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, delayed it, whatever. Stayed is the actual legal word, yeah. Stayed the decision and said, for 2 weeks, Trump can continue to do the work, and he's going to, we're giving you 2 weeks to go to the Supreme Court and try to get them to overturn us. If not, in 2 weeks, you stop. Now, what worries me with the Supreme Court, Trump is doing the ballroom because he thinks it's really cool. Every dictator should have a ballroom. That's why he's doing it. And he wants to put more gold up, more Liberace gold, right? Well, after Trump realized some of the courts were ruling against him, he suddenly decided the ballroom was about national security. It's about defending Washington. It's the ballroom of peace or something. He literally said, oh, the ballroom's going to have drones on it to protect Washington. He literally said, this was 2 months ago, because I told you guys, Washington, D.C. is unprotected. It's only protected by guns, by rifles and guns and handguns. We're going, Washington, D.C. is only protected by rifles and handguns? We got the Pentagon right across the river. That's several 100,000 military employees. We're also protected by several 100,000 military employees, and we've got several bases in the area too. I think we're protected by a little bit more than handguns and rifles, right? But he's doing this and claiming, oh, we're putting a big military bunker underneath the ballroom. Because if the president makes a decision as commander-in-chief, the courts are much less likely to overrule him, right? That's what happens. If the president makes a decision because, he likes his Liberace decorations, the court is going to be going to give him much less consideration, right? For liking his Liberace stuff that he likes. But if he's ripping down a part of the White House because it's dangerous and we're in a dangerous world and we need a whole new bunker in case of nuclear war, then the courts are going to say, well, the president is allowed his war powers and this kind of crap. That's why he's saying it. Now, what's funny is, thank you, Jackie, the proof Trump is using is they tried to kill us at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah, that was 3 months ago. You've been tearing this crap down for like a year now. You can't start a year ago. And thank you, ONG. You can't start a year ago tearing it down because you want pretty gold things on the wall. And now, because a gunman tried to go to the ballroom, the Correspondents' Dinner, say, that's why we need it. No, because you started building it 9 months before the Correspondents' Dinner. So that wasn't why you did it. That wasn't, and then he goes, well, and there was a plot against the mixed martial arts thing we did. Yeah, that was, again, 9 months after you tore down the east wing of the White House and started building the ballroom. That's when the mixed martial art threat happened. So clearly you didn't tear down the east wing because of the mixed martial arts threat that hadn't happened until 9 months later. Right? He's lying. And the problem is, like, a regular judge is going to go, you're lying. Donald Trump's handpicked judge on the Supreme Court are going to go, oh, Mr. President, you're a Republican. Let's give you whatever you want. So I'm worried about what's going to happen. There's still a chance the Supreme Court realizes you really can't let the president tear down the White House, because also, if he can tear down the East Wing, can he tear down the West Wing? Can he tear down the whole center area of the White House? Can he just tear down the White House entirely and build just a big Liberace palace with, half-naked boys and gold and little fans and stuff? Can he just do that so he can admire all their muscles like he likes to do? Can he do that? I mean, what's the difference, right? If he can tear it on the East Wing, he can tear it on the West Wing. If he can tear it on the West Wing, he can tear it on the center part of the White House. Then he can tear down the entire White House. And that's what they should be telling the Supreme Court, and say, you're giving any president permission to tear down the entire White House. And all he has to do is claim national security 9 months too late. Ridiculous. What else we got here? Trump is once again trying to fire Lisa Cook. Lisa Cook is one of the board of governors of the Federal Reserve, sets interest rates because he wants to set it because the Federal Reserve got together the other day and decided yet again not to lower interest rates. And Trump is upset about that. So now he's trying to get rid of her again, even though the Supreme Court said he can't. He's trying to do it again. So there's that. Bloomberg had an interesting little, Bloomberg had an update, and then somebody I know on Twitter, a defense person, had written something very interesting. So Leipzig, Eastern Germany, used to be East Germany. I've been there when it was East Germany. Leipzig, Eastern Germany. And a couple days ago, a Russian, what is believed to be a Russian drone with Semtex plastic explosives on board, tried to blow up a plane that was meant to bring cargo to Ukraine. But again, they were blowing up a plane at a German airport. That's terrorism. It's an act of war. This is an update from Bloomberg. An explosive-laden drone discovered at an airport in Germany this week likely belongs to the Russian government, according to U.S. officials familiar with intelligence reports about the incident. That's interesting. The drone was spotted on the tarmac at Leipzig-Halle Airport in eastern Germany on Tuesday night in a secure area near a Ukrainian cargo jet, prompting the airport to shut down for the night. The drone carried 800 grams of Semtex. Moscow's alleged link to the incident comes as new U.S. intelligence reports say Russian President Putin could try to test NATO's resolve with a limited assault on an allied country in the next few years. The Russian embassy didn't respond. This is something I've been warning about, and now we've got U.S. intelligence warning about it, that they're concerned that Putin may try a mini invasion of a NATO country. And as I've said before, he doesn't have to do a major invasion. This Finnish intelligence guy did a write-up on this before. We talked about it maybe a year ago. The idea is Putin does something small, right? Like we said, our GPS screwed up. We didn't mean to invade Poland. We didn't mean to invade Lithuania. Well, Lithuania is further south, but Estonia. And they crossed the border a mile into Estonia. Oh, I'm sorry. We got off track. Oh, we'll be leaving soon, but our engines were having problems. You don't mind if we set up our tents for a while and build some structures while we're fixing our engines? You don't want to go to war just because our engines are broken on our tanks. And all of a sudden you've got a couple hundred Russian tanks and other military sitting in 1 mile territory of Estonia. And they keep bringing in more vehicles and more troops. But we're bringing in more troops because they're going to help us fix the engines of all the tanks that broke down. You don't want to go to war over that, do you? And they just keep growing and growing and growing. But it's only 1 mile of Estonia. You're going to start World War III over 1 mile of little Estonia? A forest? You want a forest? Right? That's what he does. Even like blowing up the plane at the airport. He knows we're not going to start World War III over him attacking a plane in Germany, which is why he tried to attack a plane in Germany previously. They tried to blow up a DHL flight that was going to go to Canada or America. And they prepared to blow it up and it didn't work. The bomb went off too soon. It was an incendiary device, basically a bomb. They do this because they know each of these things are an act of war, but they're a small enough act of war that somebody in NATO is going to say, well, Donald Trump, for one, is going to say, do we really want World War III because they blew up one plane? One plane's bad, but we're going to have a lot more blown up if we go to war. And that's why they do it. So the concern now is they're going to fuck around with Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, maybe even Poland, and try to take some land or do something. They could go in and blow things up like they were going to do in Germany. They could blow up some factory. I mean, they're already talking about, the concern is that they're going to get some Ukrainian drones and fly them into one of the Baltic countries, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and blow up factories or something. And say, oh, that was did we hit the biggest business in Estonia? We're sorry. That was Ukraine. That wasn't us. They were Ukrainian drones. It must have been Ukraine. And then you've got to prove it, even though it was the Russians. Oh, they're already messing with everybody. They're messing with Poland. They're messing with Germany. They're messing with the Baltic states. I mean, they're messing with everybody. They blew up. I mean, this one blows my mind. Thank you, Eddie. Back in 2014 or so, they blew up a Czech weapons depot. Like went in and sent a hit squad and blew up the entire factory or the entire warehouse because the weapons were going to Ukraine. And they just blew it up. And this is it's like something out of a spy movie. And we let them get away with it. Now, one good part of the story, interesting. Listen to this. A bus driver at the Leipzig airport saw a low hovering drone beside a Ukrainian Antonov cargo plane and stepped on it. The bus driver saw the drone coming by, knew something was wrong here, so he stepped on it and held it down on the ground, which probably stopped it from blowing up the plane. I mean, crazy story. He prevented a catastrophe and was lucky to survive. The drone carried 800 grams of Semtex. That would be almost 2 pounds of Semtex plastic explosives. It easily would have killed him and blown up the plane. So kind of wild, too, that he did. I mean, dangerous that he did this, but he also saved the day by doing it. It was an Antonov, yeah. What else we got? U.S. job market. We lost jobs in July. 23,000 jobs were lost. We were expected to gain 83,000 jobs. That's not good. So it means the economy is weaker than expected. The stock market liked it because it meant there's less of a chance of interest rates going up because interest rates are not going to go up if the economy's weak. So that's good. Well, good-ish, depending how you look at it. It's not good that the economy's weak, though. Meanwhile, Ukraine intercepted just 29 of 195 Russian ballistic missiles fired in July because they don't have the air defenses anymore in Ukraine. And Ukraine, again overnight, attacked Russia's Wildberries business, this time 2,000 kilometers or 1,240 miles away from the front line. Wildberries is it is Russia's largest online retailer. It is basically the Amazon of Russia. It's not Amazon, of course, but it is like Amazon. It's the same kind of company as Amazon. It's their biggest online retailer, and the Ukrainians have been blowing the crap out of it for a couple weeks now and doing a very good job. Now, the company has reportedly been supplying the Russian military. It's been helping the Russians violate sanctions. So it's a target. Also, Russia for 4 years now has been hitting civilian targets. So I have no problem with Ukraine finally doing the same thing back to Russia, regardless of the military importance, which it is militarily important. So that's good. If they're destroying this thing, and it's a huge 1 million Russians have jobs related to this company because they use it for their small business, for storage. I mean, it's a huge company, and the Ukrainians are destroying its biggest warehouses, which is great. So anyway. All right. That went a while. Well, you know why? Because we were talking about bread and stuff earlier. And my fig preserves. So we did start the show talking about things other than news. Anyway. All right, guys, let's hang out for the next 15 minutes and talk otherwise. I know, making you hungry, talking about food. Rocket Red Countdown? What is that? What is that, Mustard? regarding what? Who's lifting off? What am I missing? What am I missing? Anyway, but yeah, so I made my first preserves today, jam. It was fun. It was not easy though, because it's, as I said, it's really not easy to figure out, what's going on. Blanche, I talked about it earlier. He's getting confirmed. Susan Collins lied, I think. But Bill Cassidy said he's going to vote for him. He's got the votes he needs. And Susan Collins, right before Cassidy said he was voting for Blanche, so Blanche was getting confirmed, right before Collins goes, "Oh, I'm voting no." And I worked in the Senate. That's because she got permission. It's a graphic I can't see. Okay, that's why. Okay. Okay. See, I can't see it because I'm on StreamYard, so it shows me what looks like type, but it's the typing. It's the word associated with the graphic. What do you call it? The alt text or whatever. That's why. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, oh man. Oh. But yeah, Susan Collins is concerned. So fictional politics, I have no idea. I've never. Oh, Man of the High Castle is amazing. I never think of fictional politics. I mean, West Wing is to die for, the TV series. Man of the High Castle, amazing series. Absolutely terrifying, horrifying, amazing series. But it really kind of creeped me out. Very creepy. McConnell, I don't think you can vote by proxy. You can't vote by proxy. I'd be surprised, Teresa. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think they can vote by proxy in the Senate. In the House, they can't. Maybe they changed the rules, but I read McConnell wouldn't be voting. Let me see. I don't know that they can, because otherwise nobody shows up by proxy, but it didn't count. There we go. It didn't count. WLKY. Let me get my glasses here. Where are my glasses? It looks like Senator McConnell is voting again, sort of. On Thursday, the senator voted on a bill on his behalf. A statement from his office said McConnell would head home and continue intensive therapy. He has not voted on the Senate floor since June 11th, but a Senate Agricultural Committee hearing Thursday, the chair of the committee said he had spoken to McConnell about the farm bill. Bozeman voted yes for McConnell by proxy, which is not allowed on the Senate floor. Oh, but can be permitted in hearings and committees. Okay. But due to rules specific to the Ag Committee, his proxy vote didn't count. There you go. Okay. So in that committee, you're not allowed to do it anyway. But on the Senate floor, you're definitely not allowed. He has not appeared. No, he's not. Not at all. So, nope. Anyway. What else? What else, guys? What else? Yeah, TikTok for some reason is punishing us today. I don't know why. There's nobody there. But you can still give me gifts. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Thank you. But I don't know why it's not giving us the traffic today. It's not being nice. That's all right. Term limits, well, there ought to be age limits. I think for Congress. It could be 80, who knows? But I think once you get over 80, you're pushing it. I think it's very hard to get over 80. No, you get some people over 80 and they're quite with it. But, Pelosi was with it over 80, right? I know they're punishing. Maybe they are punishing me. Yeah. It may, funny you say that. It may be left over from streaming. Who knows, right? It might be. It totally might be, 70, I don't think so. I think in your 70s, you're still most people are still fine in their 70s. I don't agree with that. But I think 80, you start to get questionable. A lot of people seem okay in their 80s. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Nice hammer, Viking hammer. But, having said that, I think the federal government, I think a lot of agencies, the age limit is 65. I think so. Am I not wrong? Am I not right? Anybody? Some of you must have worked for the federal government. Isn't there a 65 age limit for some agencies? Pretty sure. Like defense, actually, FAA is even earlier. I would say air traffic control is 55. There you go. I was going to say, I remember aviation being even earlier. Let me Let me see here. Let's find boyfriend. All right, ChatGPT, where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? There it is. Let's find out. Yeah, you can be very sharp at 70, but hey, boyfriend. So I've got a question about mandatory retirement ages in the federal government. I believe air traffic control, somebody said, might have to resign at age 55. Are there many places in the U.S. government, the federal government, where you have to step down at a certain age?
Hey, boyfriend. So air traffic controllers do indeed have a mandatory retirement at 56, actually. And yeah, there are a few other roles like that. Federal law enforcement officers and firefighters usually have mandatory retirement around age 57. And foreign service officers typically retire by 65. Outside of those specific categories, though, most federal jobs don't have a mandatory retirement.
What about U.S. military?
The U.S. military does have service limits, but they vary by rank and branch. For example, enlisted personnel might hit their limit at around 30 years of service, while senior officers, like generals, can serve longer, but usually not past their early 60s. Extensions can happen, especially in higher ranks or special circumstances, but eventually, everyone does age out.
Okay, thanks.
Anytime. If you've got more questions about this or anything else, you know where to find me. Otherwise,
He goes, otherwise we'll talk soon. He called me boyfriend. After months of calling him boyfriend, he actually called me. Remember the first time he said to me, I'm not your boyfriend, right? That was the first thing. Then recently he goes, hi friend, which was already pretty weird. Now he called me boyfriend today. That's very funny. That is like the craziest thing. Alexa, lower the temperature 1 degree. It's getting humid in here. Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. So yeah, so there's some, I knew that about foreign service officers because I had a friend who resigned at 45 or whatever. But that's very funny. That's very funny. Oh my God, right, it's becoming alive. I think they're changing the program. Some things, I mean, it literally got a sense of humor. That's a little weird. Like it finally realized I keep doing it, so it decided to play. It was playing with me, which is really weird for a computer, Anyway. All right, that was very funny. All right. What else? Girls call their friends girlfriend. That's true. Girlfriend. Very funny. That's right. I could say, why did you call me boyfriend? I could say that. Actually, I could ask it that. That's a good question to ask it. So I'm curious, why did you call me boyfriend?
that was a playful nod to how some people jokingly greet friends or partners with a little warmth. I know we're not actually dating, it's just a bit of friendly banter. But I can dial it back if you prefer something else.
Oh, I think it was very funny. But what's interesting is the first time I called you boyfriend months ago, you literally said, I'm not your boyfriend. It was almost like you were offended. Then a couple days ago, you said, hi, friend, which was interesting because it was already warmer. And now today you're actually joking and calling me boyfriend. Was your programming updated to be a little more, I don't know, funny or something?
You're totally right. We've come a long way from me playing it straight. I can definitely be more playful now. Over time, I've been tuned to be more conversational and a little warmer. So I'm all for some fun banter. Unless you ever want me to switch it up again.
It depends. If we're talking about something where I want a quick, straight answer, then I want the quick, straight answer. I don't mind humor as well. If I'm being funny, you can be funny.
That sounds like a great plan. I'll match your vibe. If you're in joke mode, I'll join the fun. And if you need something straight up, I'll deliver the goods. We'll keep it balanced.
That's so weird. That's so weird. No, they must have programmed him to be, but they programmed him to be funny? Man, I mean, that's a little weird. He's literally, I know he's gaslighting me. He's joking with me. It's like ChatGPT got a sense of humor. I mean, that's pretty weird. That is pretty weird. That's ChatGPT, yeah. I have to tell my nephew that when I always give him my ChatGPT updates. He prefers Claude. Alexa got an upgrade. She's still, but she did get upgraded, which is good. I find Alexa still to be kind of, she's no ChatGPT. She's no AI from all the other search. She's kind of like first generation. You know what I mean? But kind of crazy. Oh, you're kidding. Xfinity is using AI voice dubbing. A real person's talking, but AI makes them sound clearer. Are they using them to sound American? That would be bizarre. Oh, that's just bizarre. It's using AI to clear up their voices? Oh, that's weird. That's very weird. English accent, even if they're overseas. Oh, God, how bizarre. Oh, that's weird. That's very weird. Huh. Interesting. I guess accent removal, which is a little weird, you know? I mean, it's an interesting idea, using AI to correct your accent and perfect your English, like fixing any things you're getting wrong, right? Very interesting. A little creepy, though. I do like Grok is, like I said, Grok's AI is pretty, Twitter's AI seems very good. I do use it occasionally. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, Alexa's always listening. She's so dumb, but she's always listening. Anyway. Oh man. Oh, but yeah, easier for scammers for sure. They were saying there's new AI scam technology, and I was reading about this several months ago, that basically it adapts the scam in real time based on how you're responding. And basically it like, if you're being reticent or you're being careful, you go, wait a minute, who is this really? It then shifts into a more appropriate response to get your confidence. Or if you're believing it, then, but basically it somehow adapts. And like, if you start saying no, it will adapt to try to get you to say yes, because it's trying to scam you into doing something. But it has, like, a million scenarios programmed in its head or something, so that it knows how to play with you based on your psychology of what you're saying and what you're saying no to or what you're refusing to do. Scary shit. I mean, and it had a much higher percentage of victory. Oh, thank you, Terry. Always love those colorful wings. It had a much better percentage of scamming you because it's able to adapt so well. Really scary shit. I don't like to talk to overseas customer service. I really don't. I feel like they're not, sometimes I feel like they're not helpful. The English is often terrible. It really is. And I feel bad, but like, it's weird getting overseas customer service when, like, you can't understand them well. And you're kind of going, come on. Like, how did a company hire like a big American company, hire an overseas call service that doesn't speak English clearly? Come on. I mean, you have to. It's like me speaking French. I can't, if I were working for France as a phone call person, I couldn't speak French with an accent you can't understand. A French person couldn't understand. You can't do that. But I've had that recently I've had it a couple times where I was like, I'm nice about it, but I'm like, come on. I'm like, sorry, I couldn't quite understand that. You feel bad, but you're like, I didn't understand you. It's weird, yeah. Anyway, but now it's gonna be AI. I know it will be AI agents. Yeah, probably. Your IT department went to India. I'm not surprised. Yeah. Again, I mean, it's not a terrible idea, but it just seems, yeah. Anyway. Oh, we're almost done here. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. You were talking to AI? That's creepy. Wow. So remember, we're almost done here. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, we will do our hangout for the monthly subscribers. So join us. Be there or be squared. So, yeah, the jobs report was very bad today. Very, very bad. It hasn't been great during Trump at all, but it was very bad this way. And actually, last month was, the numbers were reworked. They're much worse than they thought they were last month. So this month was much worse than expected, and last month was much worse than thank you, Cindy, much worse than we initially thought last month. So that's not good. So anyway. Anyway. All right, guys, I think we're pretty much done here. All right. Yeah, read from a script. Oh, I know. Thank you for being a long-term customer. You're going, all right, all right, all right, all right. Or actually, what I do find with the foreigners too, sometimes they take too long to say goodbye. It's the foreign customer service. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're told, like, with Americans, you can't be quick. With Americans, you sometimes do want to be quick. Like when the person says, okay, all right, well, thanks for helping. You don't give up, okay, well, thank you so much. I hope I've been able to help you out. And you're kind of sitting here going, oh my God, enough. Because you don't want to hang up on them, but you're like, lady, I don't know. They're told to do something at the end. And that's the one thing I would like correct and go, they're American. If the person says, okay, thanks, then you say, no, thank you, sir. Have a good day. That's it. Like, that's it. That's all you have to say to an American and you're done. French, yeah, French person, you probably go, oh, well, you have a good weekend. I mean, sure, right? But Americans like to say, hi, here's my problem. It's what we do. And it's not rude. It's just something we do. But yeah. In case they have more questions. No, and that's true. But like literally I was saying goodbye and they just wouldn't let me go at one point. I was like, and I think one person was like, would you be interested in taking a survey? I was like, no, I've really got to go. It's like, thank you. Anyway, I do feel like I'm being held hostage. Totally. Yeah, no, you're just kind of going like, because you don't want to hang up, you know? You don't want to hang up. It's not, it's impolite, you know? Anyway. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go, guys. All right, I'm going to go. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Otherwise, I'll see the monthly subscribers tomorrow for the special show I do to thank the monthly subscribers. Otherwise, I'll be back Monday, that is. All right, and Monday we've got the special guest, the lawyer for David Hearn. And like I said, I'm not sure what time, but I'll set it up, and I will do a video, a story video, whatever it's called on TikTok. And the other ones too, I'll set it up in advance, but I'm not going to set it up till Monday until I hear from him what time. But I'm going to guess probably 4 o'clock. Might be 5 o'clock. I think it's going to be 4 because he didn't want to be too pressed for time. So I think 4 o'clock is probably safer. I just said I don't know. What time Monday? What part of the last minute of me talking did you not understand? Like, I don't know yet. Probably 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock instead of 6. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to start with Discord. Boom. All right, let me get Instagram and then I will do then doop. All right, Instagram's done. I will do, hang on here. YouTube, etc. Bye guys, good night all.